Welcome to the Plumeco Romaxis tutorial series. In this tutorial, we will discuss quick anatomical assessment. We're going to start here in the Explorer window. We already have a volume open. This particular patient has a region of interest because he has a missing lower left molar. So this is an ideal patient for an implant case. So let's discuss how to do a quick anatomical assessment for checking to see if we have enough bone, enough region to do an implant on this particular patient. You could always slice through the slice planes and look for the area of interest to see where you'd be placing the implant. But a more effective way of doing this would be to start at the beginning by clicking the reset view if you have anything, if it's not already in its default position. Go to your axial slice plane, scroll down to the mandible region. So now we get to see a nice view area right here of the where we want to place the implant. So we get to see from the lingual side to the buccal side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to left click and I'm actually going to drag my area of interest and put it right onto the crosshairs. Now what I'm going to do is use my right mouse button, right mouse click, and rotate the axial view so that I bring it parallel to the red line, which gives me a very good sagittal view. So now I have a good sagittal view and coronal view, which is basically a cross-sectional view, and a buccal to lingual view of the area of interest or where the implant would be placed. Now I can deselect my toggle zoom, use my scroll wheel on my mouse, and I can scroll through to look at the region of interest. And you can see here a very good view of the mandibular canal. We can also scroll through on the coronal view, which gives us our cross-sectional view. So we can quickly see that we have plenty of space and good healthy bone to be able to place an implant. Another way to do a quick anatomical assessment is on anterior root tips. So let's go ahead and click on the reset view to bring back to our default orientation. And now let's take a look on how we can image upper anterior root tips. Upper anterior root tips are some of the most difficult regions to image because you can't always get them in the same focal plane when you're taking a panoramic as the lower teeth. And it's very difficult to get the proper paralleling technique with an intraoral sensor to be able to capture this. But in the cone beam world, it's very easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start in the axial view. I'm going to go ahead and scroll on up to the upper anterior root tips. And we can see all the anterior root tips here in the axial view. So I'm going to go ahead and select this one. I'm going to go ahead and click, bring this down, and place it right onto my crosshairs. Okay. Now I got a good sagittal view of that root tip, and I have a good coronal view of that root tip. But I'm not quite done yet. Now I'm going to come up into the sagittal window, do a right mouse click, and I'm going to rotate. And I'm going to make the tooth parallel to the green line. Now I'm going to drag the image over so the green line bisects the tooth. Now I got a good lateral view, good coronal view, and a good sagittal view of the area of the root tip. Now what I'm going to do is come to the axial view, do a right mouse click, and now I can rotate right around that and pivot right on that root tip, 360 degrees around, keeping the root tip in perfect clarity, perfect view, 360-degree view all the way around. So very easy, very quick way to do assessments in the Explorer window since you have all three slice planes. And it's basically just that easy.